Well, Joel, I want to say thank you so much for taking just the time out of your busy schedule to sit down.
Yeah, you're lucky. No, you're welcome. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding. You're lucky. That's my new you're welcome.
That's your you're lucky. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about what got you into games. Like, how long have you been gaming? I'm guessing your entire life, but it felt like one of those.
River Raid.
Huh?
River Raid.
Okay.
You know.
Never played that.
Atari.
Oh, okay. I started as a PC gamer.
Yeah.
So
my bad. Yeah, we didn't have PCs back in my day. We had Commodores.
I did too. Like, okay, came from the desert too.
Yeah.
Did you play that?
No.
No. Okay, that was Commodore.
I played glitchy, like alternate reality was a fun one.
Okay.
Like Zork text-based stuff.
There we go.
Games. Nothing really that required.
Did you play any of like the golden age of Sierra games, like Space?
Commander Keen. Yeah. Duke Nukem, like the side scroller. Oh yeah. Since games were a thing, but not since Pong.
But what are the kind of games you're playing now?
Well, this is weird. Okay, so the busiest year I've ever had, like as a touring musician, I've just played PUBG every day, 7 hours a day. No music came out, nothing got done. Management would be screaming at me. And I'm touring, on weekends and doing all this stuff. I just mainline a game and I get like good at it and fun, and then that's it. I don't. Hey, what's new on Steam today? And then go dabble, because then I don't like learning.
Okay.
New games, you know what I mean? I just want to, like, I'm actually good at this, and that's like saying a lot with PUBG. There's a lot of it's a really great game, despite its flaws. It's great.
I have played a ton of PUBG, and it's still one of my. It's probably like, again, it didn't have all the weird mechanics of Fortnite. It's actually pretty straightforward. It's a lot of fun to play. It's easy for other people to kind of pick up and play with.
I try to. When I'm streaming, I try to keep it fair and interesting, whether I'm doing something wrong or right. But when I'm offline, it's like, I fight dirty. So. and if I were to stream that, they would be like, bro, they're so lame. You don't learn to play. Come out and fight. Hey man, win's a win.
From a technology standpoint, at least from like when you think about PCs, like one of the things that you'd love to see is still you have that separation between the machines that you use for your production and all that sort of stuff, and there's still that separation between gaming and the two. Right?
Yeah, but but that's squishing together nicely now,
which is nice,
which is very nice, because I could do production level things on my gaming rig.
Yep.
Which is like all I want. I want to have one big computer in my house and do everything on it. Yep. No, I just like to be able to be, working away on a project. Hey, yo, let's quick 1v1 on. All right, I'll tab.
Switch.
Done, gone, gaming. And then I've even got the scene still rendering in the background. So it's like 80% of my GPU is dedicated to this render, and I'm still playing Rocket League just fine.
You have a pretty rocking system, a 5950X. You've got PCIe Gen 4, NVMe. You got 3090, which pretty much the entire audience is drooling right now.
Yeah, it's a commodity.
It's a commodity. It is a commodity. But the question is like, why? Why the upgrade? What was it that brought about getting a new system now?
Basically, the 3090 being a production level card for as great as it is for gaming, and no joke. Like I haven't dropped a frame at any game I've thrown on it so far. Or at least that I enjoy.
And do you stream and game on the same system, or do you actually have a same? Okay.
Yeah, and that was the point of this system, because I was like, these 3090s are kind of no joke, and it also stands in as a workhorse, and that's what I find most attractive about the last 5 years is a lot of this. There was a gap of $10,000 between Pixar level workstation and gamer. And now it's just, kind of meeting in the middle, where obviously there are some pitfalls to just using the gamer card to do production level stuff. But again, the gap is starting to close a little bit more, and that's kind of cool for both the industry and, people who just enjoy games. So.
When we think about storage in general, and basically as technology's kind of improved and gotten better and stuff like that, you've kind of followed this as part of what you do on a regular basis as a music producer and DJ and all that sort of stuff. You want to talk a little bit about that journey?
Well, for me, storage has always been kind of a weird thing, because starting out, I wasn't really amassing massive files. I mean, music, when you're making it, you're multi-tracking and stuff like that. So say you had 7 parts to a song that was 7 minutes, right? So you have kick, drums, this, that, the other thing. Well, you got to imagine the file size is whatever the song is, right? A whopping 75 meg for like the WAV file at 44.1 kilohertz, which is raw PCM encoding. You times that by 7, you know. So it was. I kind of reached a point where, you know, it's like I'm doing a song a day or an idea, or whether it turned into anything or not. You know, it was just off to Radio Shack, get a USB drive, you know what I mean? And then every 5 years or so, I do the whole big, you know, and then just start poking through them, looking at things, seeing what's on there and stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah, this can't be right, you know? And then someone had then talked me into like, oh, you got to do like cloud storage, like, and I tried that, and I'm like, it's not there for me yet. Especially with the advent of, you know, 8K, we're doing, you know, audio, you're right, at 192 kilohertz, best quality, 100 tracks per track, fine. But we start doing video, all our artist videos, all that stuff, and storage very quickly becomes a problem.
The speed in which you can get things on to storage or out of storage has become really important.
Well, there's two things, right? When I'm working locally, it's not really a big deal, right? It takes a few milliseconds to load up and start streaming data, right? But I'm at the mercy of 10BASE-T.
Right.
So I can only go as fast as whatever is coming through the network, and that's good and great. But for things that need to be performant, like real-time applications like my Cube Show or my Previs and stuff like that, I have to take all the stuff that's on the network and boop it over to the workstation and let it live there. Just copy it straight up and do my modifications, dump it back when I'm done, which is like standard practice. I'm okay with that. I need to do that for just basically getting terabytes of data onto my monitor, basically, and through the application or the IDE that I'm using to be able to have no frame loss.
Right.
You drop a frame, you're done.
Yep.
You know, some of that stuff you can get away with, but when it comes to my show, at least for me, it feels like if I'm dropping a single frame, I'm toast. So we rely very heavily on like M2 drives and stuff like that to be able to basically throttle as much, offload as much demand from our GPU as we can for storage. Like Touch Designer is pretty low level, like as in like you could play with memory, you can play with like, you know, chunking up files and pre-reading and stuff like that. There's a lot of options for that kind of thing, and even shaders. Those are the kind of things that you can kind of let go, like Jesus take the wheel with the GLSL shader, and then let the hard drive, you know, kind of feed in, you know, the pre-cached video content, so that when we start doing like blending, kind of unload that video and wipe it from RAM, or get it off the GPU, let the GLSL do the thing, and then kind of blend in the other one, or hard switch and stuff like that. There's like a million ways to do it. I think now we're meeting in the middle, and I think storage is now going to start playing a bigger role in the kind of professional applications and video game applications, which is really important because not everybody is a Joel who's got to access, you know, terabytes of video data all the time. But yeah, speed is king, because I don't think we'll ever escape the need for rasterized content.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is like we want as little bottlenecking, right? Like due reliance on pretty much VRAM at this point in time for a lot of things. Yeah. All of a sudden, if I can start direct writing at ridiculous speeds to the GPU directly from storage, or the GPU directly from RAM, or whatever it was, that all makes a big difference. And PCIe Gen 4, and you know, as it gets faster, is only going to help that stuff.
Yeah, and especially at glorious frame rates, right?
Which is, I mean,
it's night and day. We were. I want to say we were probably the first electronic music touring thing that was running our content at 60 hertz. You know, 60 frames a second. I mean, it's nice. It's so smooth. I can't tell. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, great. I gamed on 60 forever and ever and ever. I just, you know, on a whim going, you know what? I'm going to buy the expensive monitor today and the good video card.
I'm excited about what you're about to just say.
And then 140 hertz, I was like, what the hell have I been doing? You know what I mean? And then I sucked at every game imaginably for a week.
And that's precision.
And I can't go back.
Yeah.
I cannot go back. Me watching 60 frames per second, this is the most vainest thing I've ever said, is like going back to cable.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't look at this. And then you go to a concert and you're looking at their LED wall and it's 24. I just want to die.
Yeah.
You know, so that's always been a big thing with me is, you know, the high frame rate does make a difference. If you stood behind a kid playing, you know, PUBG at 60 and then another kid playing the same game at like 140, you're like, oh, that looks way better. Yeah. Oh, it's this, it's that. And then there's a lot of perceived betterment that comes from a high FPS. That's not just an FPS. It's like, you know, motion tends to look a little like more real.
Yeah. A lot of people know you for music and everything else, but they don't know how much you're into games. Like we just like pretty much geeked out and jumped across both of those pretty easily. Tell me a little bit about what got you into games. Like how long have you been gaming? What was the first PC you ever had?
The first PC I ever had, I had this uncle. He was the guy.
Okay.
You know, the dude. He was the one that got me into like, you know, Commander Keen and Jazz Jackrabbit. And we could never really like get one for the home kind of thing, and we had no need for one. My dad worked in manufacturing, and my mom worked in things. And that was it. You know, we had no need for a computer. There was no email. There was no nothing. You know, it was just kind of a novelty item for the home, right? Music wasn't a thing. So on PC. So it was like, I did do piano lessons and all this stuff, and I had an interest in music, but just like there was PC speakers. And that's it. This is pre-Sound Blaster stuff. But then as that kind of came to be where the Sound Blaster could do ADPCM audio, then came along the trackers and stuff like that. And I thought, wow, you can actually make music on a computer to some degree, right? And that was really fun, and that begun my deadmau5 journey. That was the start of it. And part of that was just kind of the Christmas or something, you know, like, hey, I really want, you know, 486 or something like that. So I think my first actual like kind of one that I did work on was a 486. You know, I started on you know, trackers and stuff like that, all the old school DOS music making programs, but then also kind of put me in gaming for PC, which was like, again, top spec, Commander Keen stuff, you know, Duke Nukem and all those kind of. Not quite Doom. It wasn't quite good enough. Like it was a little, but it worked. Wolfenstein maybe.
Oh yeah, Wolfenstein 3
for sure.
I think one of the things that people don't remember about Wolfenstein was just the soundscape of that game for the first time, like hearing doors open and
all 4 channels of it. It was insane.
But it was. I mean, but like in the end, like it really, like did any of that ever impact like when you heard music from that and stuff? Is that the stuff that kind of got you into that?
Yeah, because that was all very tracker based. They were MIDI files that just basically ran through a kind of tracker based sound engine that was like 40 KB of you know, lines of code that just basically said, you know, when this MIDI file gets to this point, just play this like GM sound that was either embedded in the game or optionally you could suss it out to like MIDI hardware that had a MIDI input and stuff like that. So music in games actually at one point required an external MIDI player device. Like the music you were actually hearing was coming from another device, not your PC. It was just sending over the MIDI information. So gaming was like that for like a long time. But then, you know, Sound Blaster came along and Turtle Beach and all that stuff, and they started putting MIDI chips onto these things. That's when they were like, why are we using MIDI? We'll just embed the sounds on the hard drive and have the hard drive played out through the ADPCM converter on the card.
What are some of the things we can look forward to, and what are some of the things that are happening for deadmau5 and Joel moving forward?
It's about setting up businesses and culminating the next, you know, thing, whether it's music or tech or whatever. So we've done a lot of things like in that realm. The first one was start a record label, but I like a little more than that. I like technology and games and this and that. So we've also spun up an agency called Pixelinks, which is a digital agency for creators who aren't programmers. You know, not all creators are programmers or know about video games and how they work and stuff like that. So Pixelink is going to basically act as a bridge between, you know, creators, musicians who just exclusively work on their thing and don't know anything about video games, but don't know, and then the video games, right, the business side of that. They need that stuff, right? But these conversations that happen over that bridge usually die or get confused or whatever, because programmers talk to programmers and musicians know how to talk to musicians, but we're going to act as that go between. We'll summarize it as, you know, being kind of taking a back seat on the mouse head as I approach my 50s, and more a front seat in culminating creation in digital media. And I say that as in like video games, videos, musicians, music releases, anything created with a computer. I think we're going to have a good hand in, just to keep my mind afloat.
So Joel, I just want to say thank you so much for coming, hanging out, spending a little time with us in your very busy schedule, and what I expect to be more busy now based on the stuff coming out. And just looking forward to honestly seeing some of the stuff that's going to be coming out here in 2021 and on.
2021 was a big homely year for us. We just sat around, developed tools, worked with companies, curated ideas and relationships and stuff like that. So I think 2022 is like our year of action, I think.
I'm excited.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, man.